How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Some people are thinking that what's happening right now just doesn't add up. We keep on getting good news after good news after good news. In the last 2 weeks, Bitcoin's just been trending sideways between 40 and 44,000. And they want to know, if so many people are buying, if so many people are getting in, if there's all this excitement and good news, why isn't the price moving? I can tell you why that is. I can tell you because someone just came out from one of the largest institutions you probably never heard of and gave us some indication as to what's happening. So this is stuff that I haven't seen anyone talk about. I saw one post about it on Twitter and I dug really deep. It was actually from Bitcoin Archive, but didn't give enough context, which is what I want to talk about here today. I want to explain why we have so much demand, and yet the last couple weeks, Bitcoin's been a little bit stagnant. So if you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video. Also, while you're down there, there's a link to Margex. I've done a full video review on this, explaining kind of how I like to trade. If you want to see that, you can look back in my channel. Just search for Margex, my financial friend. They also told me they're going to do some more marketing here soon. They're going to be on more websites. They're already on Be in Crypto. They're like one of the main sponsors of that website. So you can find out more information if you want. Also, you can trade 40 plus different cryptocurrencies with different cryptos as collateral. So you can grow different bags of crypto by trading Bitcoin or XRP. There's no KYC, no VPN. You can also check out the link to Blowfin underneath the video as well. They're a great exchange with over 270 trading pairs. So definitely check out both of those underneath the video. As you can see, I have some nice trades open right now over on Blowfin. They also give you deposit bonuses for using those links. Now, Bitcoin has been doing really well this year. Even over the last 90 days, it's up 63, 64%. Over the last couple weeks, though, you can see it's been kind of up and then down, up, and then we've just been staying around 43 to 44,000. Some people have been posting like, why isn't it going up? And while I would like to say to them, hey, we have been going up a lot throughout the year. We're up almost like 2.5x from the bottom, something like that. Almost 3x. The fact is, there are periods where we consolidate. That's healthy for price action. You don't want to go up in a straight line for months because typically there's a really nasty crash after that happens. Coming down 10% and going back up is healthy. But that still doesn't say exactly what's happening behind the scenes. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean it explains really what's happening. However, I saw this post by Bitcoin Archive. Traditional finance and institutions are coming into Bitcoin and crypto. This is coming from TPIAP or TPICAP. So actually two different words. TP and then ICAP is a separate one. The world's largest interbroker dealer. Probably nothing. I want to dig into this. Like, who is TPICAP? TPIAP? Who are they? What are they exactly seeing? And this, I think, provides a lot of insight. Like I said in the video of this morning, there is a lot of money starting to flow into traditional assets. I covered this, but if you didn't see it, money market funds are starting to actually decrease for the first time since October. And they're dropping tens of billions of dollars in the market, but they have $6 trillion. So they barely dumped any into the market, but we've already seen traditional markets start to fly. And that's because of inflation coming down, the Fed looking like they're going to lower rates next year. So some big money is starting to already rotate. But we see whales and people want to know, like, okay, this person goes and smashes by 300 Bitcoin, like $22 million or 43 million, whatever it is, right? These massive buys, tons of money. And other whales do the same thing. Like, where is all this going? How is the price not absolutely spiking? And sometimes we see the price spike. But last couple of weeks, like I said, it's been a little bit quiet. So I dug deeper into what TPICAP did, what they do, and what they said. So this is the world's largest broker dealer. Now, what is a broker dealer? That's important to know. Broker dealers operate in over-the-counter or OTC markets. They're not like market makers. Market makers generally stand in an exchange. So someone wants to sell, someone wants to buy. They do that through normal means. So you'll see the price drop and then come back up. OTC is what a lot of big institutions, that's what a lot of big individuals do. So they don't cause spikes and drops. They basically, someone wants to sell. Okay, we'll take those straight from you and wire you cash or something like that. Now, TPICAP's Duncan Trenholm got animated while speaking about a recent milestone in crypto. Something he says went under the radar. This is great. We love under the radar. Earlier this year, CME Group leapfrogged crypto native exchange Binance to become the largest exchange for Bitcoin futures contracts. It happened even before U.S. regulators slapped a $4.3 billion fine on Binance. That was huge. I don't think that's talked about enough in general. And this is the co-head of digital assets, remember. It points to more traditional financial firms, more institutional firms, wholesale firms coming into crypto. Now, keep in mind, TPIAP matches buyers and sellers, and these buyers and sellers trade more than $1 trillion a day in assets. I mean, think about that. That's massive. These are some of the biggest players in the world. Now, the wording on this shows that they don't actually do $1 trillion in volume a day, like TPIAP doesn't, but it matches buyers and sellers who trade themselves about $1 trillion a day. So they do a percentage of that. I looked, and it seems like around maybe $100 billion a day on the high end. They say there's been a steady flow of customers from across the firm's business that are eager to onboard and trade digital assets, including customers from fixed income and equities. Global markets worth a combined $200 trillion. They also say December has been more active than November for us on the derivative side. We expect more focus on over-the-counter derivatives, non-deliverable forwards, and over-the-counter options. That is one of the really important things. Keep in mind what I said. Broker-dealers, typically operate in over-the-counter or OTC markets. So they've had a huge uptick in people that want to buy, institutions that want to buy, and they're doing it over the counter. So that doesn't necessarily affect the price. And you might be saying, well, why is that even good? Why does it matter if they're doing OTC if it doesn't affect the price? It doesn't affect the price in the short term. But what it does is it decreases selling pressure and gives it to strong hands. So let's say no one wants to buy, right? No one wants to buy OTC. If something happens to someone that has a lot of crypto, a lot of Bitcoin, and they need the cash, they would go sell and it would dump the price. However, when they do OTC, the price dump never happens. That's why we haven't seen a lot of big dips, in my opinion. We've had a lot of OTC, but we've also had people willing to come in and buy if there's a dip. So we see a 10% dip. People are like, damn, I need to get in on that. Pardon my language. I might swear a little bit these days. Going into the bull market, I'll try not to be too explicit, but people might say, dang, I need to get in this. I can't miss out on this next bull run. I'll buy. So smash buy. We hold at a steady level. That doesn't mean that people won't get liquidated. That doesn't mean that we won't see dips. But what I'm saying is there's a huge demand. Even if it's OTC, this does swallow up more supply. I mean, they could even be going to different exchanges that have Bitcoin that they've bought just for liquidity. They might go over to Binance or to BitGet or to Marjax or someone that has some Bitcoin and say, hey, we'll pay you a flat rate. We just want that Bitcoin. And they might say, okay, we'll sell it to you. So that swallows up more and more Bitcoin over time, makes it so there's less and less available. As I've said recently, like the name of the game is changing. There are people with 10, 20, 30-year time horizons. They don't care. And there are countries and companies jumping in. MicroStrategy talks about this being a 100-year play for them. They are not the only ones. We have seen countries getting into crypto. We just saw yesterday, Argentina. One of the people high up in the government there said that they are willing to settle contracts in Bitcoin. Imagine that, countries trading in Bitcoin. Now, do you think that they have a short-term approach? Do you think they're trying to buy for the next year so they can flip at the top of the bull run? No, right? You don't make a massive national change to then go dump on the people in your country, right? Look, think about that, how bad that would look. Now, of course, I'm not saying governments are always doing the right thing all the time, but they're not looking at it for a 1-2 year perspective. They're looking at it for decades. So when people go and buy OTC, yes, it doesn't pump up the price in the short term, but it's still amazing for us long term. There's less Bitcoin available. So then when someone does go and buy, when someone smashes buy and they just buy from any regular exchange, it shoots up the price quicker because there's less available to buy, right? So we want something that's scarce. We want something that's desirable. It's all two parts of the equation. If there's a lot of demand and there's a lot of supply, well, the price is probably going to stagnate, right? If there's a lot of demand and the supply continues to go down, and we're getting a ton of demand right now, the supply continues to go down, it becomes more and more valuable. And eventually, there is that God candle, that blow off top, that huge increase in price because there's just not enough. I mean, think about it. Think about if you were in a desert with 100 other people and there's one bottle of water, what would you pay for that bottle of water? If you were really thirsty, you'd probably pay a significant amount, more than you would at your own house, right? At home, I'm not going to pay 20 cents to get a glass of water or for a bottle of water because I can just go get a glass of water. But in the right conditions, people will pay anything. It's going to be the same thing in Bitcoin. People will pay anything to get into Bitcoin at one point, when they're starving, when they need it, when they are trading with it, when they need it as a strategic reserve, when they need to get into the bank of cyberspace. They will pay any amount. And like Michael Saylor says, whether you love him or hate him, he has a good point. It's just like, it's real estate. It's a bank. So it doesn't matter if you buy in when Bitcoin's 100,000. It doesn't matter if you buy when it's 500,000. It doesn't matter if you buy in when it's 100 million. There's only so much space at the bank. So you need to get into that bank, right? He doesn't phrase it exactly like that, but there's basically this thought process that it doesn't really matter when you buy Bitcoin because in a few years, it's going to be worth more. And that's if you denominate it in US dollar terms. As time goes on, every single day, we get more adoption. We get more usage. We get better laws. We get better regulation on it. So it just continues to get better. The fundamentals get better. You know, we always look at the price. The price goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But the usage and the actual underlying value is just a steady line up. And the key is to buy it, if you can, consistently. And if you try to time it, the key is to try to time it when the cost is lower than the value. And significantly, if you can catch it when it's towards the bottom, great. That's what a lot of people did during the bear market, but it's really hard to time. So a lot of us just dollar cost average, try to buy when we can, when we have extra income. Now, let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Again, check out Margex, probably the best trading platform to leverage trade out there. And I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.